Welcome to the NJSLA TestNav tutorial. During this tutorial, we will walk through the tools used during the NJSLA test. The NJSLA, like the park, has a toolbar at the top of the page that helps to navigate the site. From the left, the toolbar begins with two blue arrows that are used to move forward and backward through the test. Next are the review and bookmark buttons that help us to check our work and mark pages that we want to return to. On this sample, we are using a math test, so the math tools are next. But if this were an ELA sample test, there would be ELA tools listed that include a notepad for taking notes and the X known as the answer eliminator. Finally, we have the person icon. Here, you are able to sign out of the test, but be careful not to do that. Accessibility features are also listed here. Below these tools, there is a gray bar that shows you your name and the test you are taking, as well as the section and question that you are on. These are the accessibility tools and features listed under the person icon. You are able to change the background color if you need to. Don't forget the big tip that if you do not need to change the background, you shouldn't, as it could serve as a distraction. The magnifier, line reader mask, and answer masking are also listed under this drop-down menu. This further explains the available math tools. When you want to use a tool, you must click it. To make that tool disappear, you should click back on the pointer. Clicking on each tool will allow you to use that tool during the test. The calculator will appear if you are permitted to use the calculator for that section of the test. If it does not appear, you are not allowed to use a calculator. You will also see a protractor to measure angles and a ruler to measure length. You can eliminate choices using the big X called the answer eliminator. Here are the ruler and protractor. The protractor measures angles and the ruler measures length. The circles on the end of each allow you to rotate the tool to measure lines that are not horizontal. Notice that the 0 does not start at the end of the ruler or protractor, but you should always start by measuring at the 0. This is a sample of the answer eliminator. Once you click the big X button, you can then click on multiple choice answers to use process of elimination. The highlighter is available throughout the test. At any time, if you use your pointer to highlight text, the blue and pink boxes will appear so that you can actually highlight the test to help you make notes. Think about why you might want to use a highlighter during our NJSLA test. Maybe you want to identify what the question is asking. At any point, you can click the review button to check which questions you still need to complete. You can also click the bookmark button to remind yourself to navigate back to that page and check your answers. The orange dot next to a question means that the question has not been answered. The blue ribbon means that the question is bookmarked. Finally, when you get to the end of a section, you'll see this page. It will again show you if you have questions that have not been answered or bookmarks. If you've answered all questions, you can click Submit. This is the equation editor. This will come up during the open-ended math questions. You can use these symbols to fill in the questions. The second to last button on the top row allows you to enter fractions. The last one allows you to enter mixed numbers. Here is an example that asks you to enter both words and numbers. The math symbols are again listed so that you can enter them into your answer. These are additional tips that you can use to review to practice with the math equation editor. For example, it can be easier to use the arrow keys to move through the text in the equation editor rather than using the pointer tool. There are additional buttons available that allow you to undo, redo, and clear to start all over. Finally, when there is an empty square in the problem, this is a fill in the blank question. Fill in as much as you can, as you may get partial credit. Now, you can practice on your own.